This is LOA Recon with Good Vibe Coach Jeanette Ma, where we explore the ins and outs of conscious creation to manifest our favorite dreams come true. Let's have some fun together. Welcome and thank you for tuning in for another episode. As I was looking over these two reviews and wondering which one I should thank you for today, I realized I want to share both, and I'll tell you why. The first one is a comment on a recent podcast that reads, "This podcast is ridiculously good. First of all, your happy, enthusiastic, and super duper positive way of being is absolutely contagious." Okay, reading that is just putting me in that vibration. You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if the reason you experience these episodes like that is because I start each one off with a note of thanks from one of you. So you're setting the tone for these fabulous episodes. That makes good sense to me. Okay, anyway, it continues. "So I love listening to the same episode a couple of times." That's where I cringed a little bit. Oh, the thought of someone listening to me multiple times. I don't know how you do it. But then I realized, wait, I do. Wait, I'll finish it. It says, "So I love listening to the same episode a couple of times since it's always helping me be in a better mood just by listening to you." Okay, I understand that. Not listening. I don't listen to my own self, but there are people I listen to just for that. I'm a little embarrassed to admit that I tune into Kim Falconer on YouTube. She has a channel called Kim Yin Yoga. I love listening to her. I love watching her. Kim, I'm embarrassed to say I've never gotten on the floor and done yoga with you. Okay, not yet. One of these days I will. But I just feel better just listening to you. There's something magical about Kim's voice. I say that like she's listening. I don't know that she does. But I understand listening multiple times. Kim's got some really good ones that I have listened to multiple times. Okay, so I do understand that. Okay, and then it says, "Also, the podcasts are so good that it's really worthwhile letting everything sink in." You know what I realized as I thought, no, I get it, how listening to someone, just hearing their voice makes you feel better. Because I was like, I do that with Kim. But you know what? Please don't be like me and never get on the floor. Actually, I want you to actually use what we're talking about. I know the person who wrote this does. I'm just saying, don't be like me and just listen because it feels good. Please, please put this stuff into practice in some form or fashion. Okay, and then the comment continued, "I must admit I am beyond curious to find out what was the magic formula given to the client that manifested things in minutes." Oh my word, that was such a cool story. He did give me permission to share. I think that would make a great separate episode. And I thought if this person was wondering, and I did write, and I responded privately with that, but I thought maybe that's worth doing an episode on. So I will come back to that in case anyone else was wondering about it. But there is another note that's really relevant to today's episode. I don't know if you can hear Harvey sighing. He sounds like he's so bored with me. I'm trying not to take it personally. Okay. This was a private note, a private email that reads, "Jeanette." Oh, and this was from the GVU boosts. The emails that members get 3 times a week. It reads, "Jeanette, you are divinely inspired, no doubt about it. I should start wearing one of those bracelets everyone used to wear, WWJD." I'm embarrassed to read this out loud. That thought that's a little embarrassing. Only mine would mean, what would Jeanette do? That's sort of become my MO these days, and every one of these GVU notes are just written by the divine through you and meant for me. Wow, that is a really cool thought. Thank you so much for sending me that. I appreciate that. And you are so dismissing your own inner guidance, your own inner wisdom. Don't listen to me too much. I don't know all that much. You've got answers. You've got wisdom that's tailored specifically to you. So while I'm super flattered at the thought, what would Jeanette do? You know what? The reason we know you're so smart, and this is true for all of us, whatever you hear me say, when you hear something that feels fabulous, that's a sign your inner guidance says, yes, that for you. And when you hear me say something that just falls totally flat, that has no appeal to you whatsoever, that's your inner guidance saying, not that for you. But it's always your inner wisdom that you want to rely on. It might seem like I know a lot. I don't. It's your inner guidance that you want to listen to above all else. So what would that bracelet say? What would WWIGD? What would inner guidance do? Okay. And I do appreciate the comment, and it's related to what I wanted to talk about today, which is I don't have a title for this one yet, but I'm giggling at the thought that it will be the art of axe throwing. That's not actually, I am going to talk about it for a minute because, I've been wanting to do this for a long time. Actually, it was right before the pandemic started. I was going to go, I actually think Darren and I had a date to go axe throwing, and then, ta-da, it was like, oh, maybe don't go in public. It was right when things were starting to shut down. So no axe throwing, at least not in public. But for my last birthday, I got an axe throwing kit for home. So, can you hear how excited I am to throw some axes? Yeah, I was pretty excited. I went out all excited. I threw the axe a couple times, and it turns out it's not that easy. It's not that easy. They make it look easy. It's not. So I thought, don't do this too much before you get discouraged. I went in and I YouTubed how to throw an axe. Oh, hello. Lots of tutorials. They were all men, as a matter of fact, who made it look easy. And I took notes. And they said a wide variety of things. They were talking about, what kind of grip to have on the axe handle, whether to use one arm or two hands, or how far away to stand. Some said like 15 feet, some said 5 paces, some said 7 paces. They talked about whether it was you want to stand still or take a step or even take 2 steps as you throw. There was a lot of conflicting advice, but you know what? They were in agreement about that it's important to figure out what works for you. They said that. So even while they're like 15 feet away or whatever works for you, or use 2 arms or whatever works for you, or grip it like a handshake or whatever works for you. That's whatever works for you. That's so important for us to remember, not just when it comes to throwing axes. Oh, and can I just say, that did the magic trick. Just get a little tutorial. Oh, I just love how easy it is to feel like an expert at something. But my point being, there isn't just one right way for all of us. That's why they weren't all saying the same thing, because the same thing doesn't work for each one of us. And it is the exact same with manifesting, with our conscious creation game. I realized that after I was listening to that. This is what this episode is really about. Oh my word. Daniel Howard was interviewed by, I forget the guy that interviewed him. I'll have a link to the interview on YouTube in the podcast notes. But Daniel Howard was telling about how he consciously created a €1 million lottery win. I think he did it in 2019, and he told exactly how he did it. He shared all the details, the whole process. It was a really fun interview because he wasn't just a guy who, had once upon a time had thought, it'd be cool to win a lottery. And then one day he did. No, he claimed it. He got really deliberate about deciding this is what he wanted to do. It's a really cool story. It's worth listening to him tell it. It's like an hour-long interview, so I can't repeat all of it. But it was amazing to me was that was the process he used was not a process that would work for everyone. The way he went about it obviously worked really well for him. When I say worked really well for him, I mean he wanted, it was the Millionaire Maker lottery in the UK. I'm not familiar with it until he told me about it. Now I am. But that's what it's for. It's for €1 million. So he knew the number that he was going for, and that's exactly what he got. Oh my gosh, I'm just so impressed with that. He didn't just say win the lottery. He claimed the €1 million lottery. Wow. And his routine that he engaged, he said he treated manifesting the lottery win like a daily job that he worked on every day. He said it took like 6.5 or 7 years. every day. He treated it like a job. You know what? That is a routine I know would not work for everyone. But it worked for him. And what else he did? The way he treated it like a job, let me remember. He said, first of all, you have to be a part of every draw. He says, don't go broke doing it, but you've got to be in every draw. You know what? That wouldn't work for everyone. Also, he said he visualized in a fun way every day. That's another thing. Some people visualizing every day, it wouldn't be fun for some. He said staying positive. Yeah, that seems important. And then living as if he'd already won. It's so cool how he started off the interview saying he felt like he'd already won the lottery because he was working his dream job. Okay, that guy already had good vibrations going for him. But then when it came time to actually manifest this, he did things like it sounded like it was straight from Neville Goddard. Neville's one of my favorite manifesting teachers. And I know that doesn't work for everyone. I've coached enough people to know. After I posted this in the GVU forums, a fellow creator replied saying she too also consciously created a lottery win, but she had a totally different way of doing it. She didn't treat it like a job that she worked every day. In fact, she didn't even buy the winning ticket herself. She gave me permission to share. She used a Pray Rain journal. She also, that she wrote in every day, she used a mantra that her tickets always win money. She didn't call it a mantra. She just said she reminded herself her tickets always win money. I called it a mantra. And she made a point of not feeling needy or attached, but just feeling financially abundant. And it worked for her. It worked for her so well. And she did it in 12 weeks. How do you like that? Okay, that's a very different process than what Daniel Howard used. And that just reminded me of the art of throwing axes. One way is not the best way for everyone. Some, when it comes to their manifesting practice, will do great with a committed daily practice, and others do best when they are just really casual about it or hootless, like they maybe think on it once and then they don't even pay attention to it anymore. Some people succeed by talking regularly with other people about it. Daniel Howard did that, and others, that'll spoil the magic. It's keep it to themselves that works best for them. And I know there are others who get great results by engaging the same specific alignment exercise, like, really committing to something. And others, I'm in this category. I got to mix it up. If I do the same thing for too long, I'll burn out on it. It won't be fun for anymore. And others, they just do better when they're not even using a specific alignment method other than just do what feels good, have a fun time today, enjoy my life the best I can. That's the best alignment practice for me. There's some that'll work better for. It isn't the same best approach for all of us. So I'm sharing this for those who might be like me, throwing an axe and having it just not stick anywhere. If you've gotten discouraged about whatever you might have picked up first to play with your conscious creation powers, don't get discouraged if what was working great for someone else does nothing for you. You want to play around and find what does work for you. I think that's worth keeping in mind when anyone, including myself, has strong ideas about how to do this manifesting stuff right. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Hope you got some good manifesting inspiration from this.